Every single day, recruiters open LinkedIn and they type 3 or 4 keywords into the search bar. And if your profile doesn't contain those exact words in the right sections, you just don't show up. You could be the perfect candidate for the role, and then they'll never find you. And I'm not guessing here. Like, I built recruitment software, I've spoken to hundreds of hiring managers, and I've sat on the other side of the LinkedIn recruiter, watching searches come through. So I know exactly what they're looking for, where they're looking, and why most profiles get skipped. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 sections of your LinkedIn profile that actually determine whether recruiters find you or not. And I'm going to show you exactly what to change in each one so that you start getting messages instead of just silence. So the first thing you need to do is understand how LinkedIn search actually works on the recruiter side, because most people, they have absolutely no idea. So when a recruiter is hiring for a role, they don't just scroll through their feed hoping to stumble across someone. They use a software called LinkedIn Recruiter, which is basically a massive search engine. They type in keywords like financial analyst or data engineer Python, and LinkedIn gives them a ranked list of profiles. And here's the thing that most people miss. LinkedIn doesn't just search for a job title. It searches your headline, your about section, your experience, descriptions, and your skills, and it weighs them differently. So your headline actually carries the most weight in the algorithm. So if a recruiter searches financial analyst and your headline says recent graduate or aspiring professional analyst, you're just not going to show up. Like, literally do not exist to them. So I had a candidate called Priya, and she was targeting data analyst roles in financial services. Her LinkedIn headline said, University of Leeds graduate looking for opportunities. And she sent out about 80 applications and she only got 2 interviews. And when we looked at her profile from a recruiter search perspective, she wasn't appearing in any of the results because the words recruiters were actually typing in just weren't on her profile. So what we did is we rebuilt her headline. We restructured her about section and fixed her skills. And within 2 weeks, she started to get recruiter messages for the first time. It's the same person, same experience, just completely different visibility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through exactly what we changed and how you can do the same thing. So firstly, your headline. It's the most important thing in your entire LinkedIn profile. It's the first thing that recruiters see in search results, and it carries the most weight in LinkedIn's algorithm. So this is where you start. So the old way of writing headlines is, you put your university or something generic like motivated graduate seeking opportunities. And the problem with that is that recruiters don't search for motivated graduate. Nobody is typing that into the search bar. They search for job titles and technical hard skills. So here's exactly what you need to do. Go to 5 job descriptions for the roles that you're targeting and write down every keyword that appears in at least 3 of them. Those are the words recruiters are typing into LinkedIn. So pick the job title and your 2 or 3 skills and put them in your headline separated by the pipe character. So instead of University of Manchester economics graduate, you would write financial analyst, which is the job title, Excel financial modeling valuations. That is what recruiters are searching, and that is what gets you found. And that one change alone can make a massive difference. And for Priya, her headline went from University of Leeds graduate looking for opportunities to data analyst, SQL, Python, Tableau, financial services. And that's when things started to change for her. Now, moving on to your about section. And this is the second most important part. And most people either leave it completely blank or just paste in their CV summary. Both of those are the wrong approach. So your about section, it should answer 3 questions. Why do you care about the field that you're in? What's your approach? And what have you actually done? So for Priya, we wrote something along the lines of this. I got into data analyst because I genuinely enjoy finding patterns in messy data sets. At university, I built a predictive model for student retention that flagged at-risk students 6 weeks earlier than the existing system. I work with SQL, Python, and Tableau, and I'm looking for a data analyst role where I can solve real problems with real data. That's a story. It's memorable. A recruiter reads that and thinks, oh, okay, this person actually cares about the work. And it's packed with keywords that help you show up in the searches. So you're doing 2 things at once. You're building that personal brand and you're making yourself more searchable on LinkedIn. And here's a simple way to check if your about section is working. So just read it out loud and ask yourself, could literally any other candidate have written this? If the answer is yes, it's just too generic. Rewrite it until the answer is no. Now your experience section is the next part, which is where most people make the biggest mistake. Because what they do is they just copy and paste their CV bullets into LinkedIn and just call it done. And look, I get why people do this. It seems efficient, but LinkedIn and your CV are actually read in completely different ways. A recruiter scanning your LinkedIn profile, spending 10-15 seconds on it, they're not reading every bullet point. They're looking for 3 things. relevant job titles, recognizable companies, and quantified results. So the formula I teach inside my community is something like this: action verb plus method plus the result. And every single bullet in your experience section needs to follow that structure. So here's a real example. The old way would be something like responsible for data analysis and reporting for the sales team. That tells the recruiter absolutely nothing, and it's literally just a job description copied and pasted in. The new way is build automated sales dashboards using Tableau and SQL, reducing weekly reporting time from 8 hours to 45 minutes. Same role, same experience, but now the recruiter can actually see what you did, how you did it, and what the result was. And that is what makes them stop scrolling and actually click your profile. Now, here's something specific to LinkedIn that most people don't know. You should actually write slightly longer descriptions on LinkedIn than on your CV. On your CV, the space is tight, 1-page restrictions, but on LinkedIn, you have room to add context and tell the story behind the result. So instead of 2 bullet points per role, aim for 3 or 4 and make sure at least 2 of them have actual numbers in them. So I had a candidate called Daniel, and he had decent experience, but his LinkedIn was just his CV pasted in. No numbers, no context, just responsibilities listed. So what we did is we rewrote every single bullet using the formula and added quantified results wherever we could and gave each role a proper narrative. So his profile views went from 5 per week to over 30, and recruiters were actually finding him for the first time. So the last thing I want to show you in the settings and features that most people just completely ignore, and these can make a massive difference with little effort. So the first one is open to work. Now, most people either don't turn this on or they turn it on with that green banner and everybody can see it. And being honest, the public green banner can actually work against you in some cases. So what you should do instead is turn on open to work, but set the visibility to recruiters only. So what that does is it puts a flag on your profile that only shows up inside LinkedIn Recruiter, and your current employer can't see it. Your colleagues can't see it. It's just a signal to recruiters that you're actively looking, and it massively increases the number of messages you get. The second one is your skills section. So most people add 3 or 4 skills and then just forget about it. But LinkedIn's search algorithm actually uses your skills section to determine which searches you should appear in. So you want at least 15 to 20 skills listed, and they should be the exact same keywords from those job descriptions that you pulled through earlier. So think of it like giving LinkedIn a cheat sheet for every search you want to show up in. And then the final setting is then just your profile photo and banner. This takes 5 minutes and most people skip it entirely. But profiles with a professional photo get about 14 times more views than profiles without one. And you don't need some fancy studio shoot. Just get a friend to take a photo of you in a plain shirt against a clean background with some natural light, maybe some greenery in the background. That's genuinely enough. And if you're stuck on the banner, then just put the city landscape that you're from. So for example, London city background is the first visual impression when a recruiter clicks through your profile, and they're going to see that against your actual picture. And right now, people just have the default blue gradient, or they just have some really bad Canva design, and it just doesn't help. So those are the 4 things that actually matter. So it's your headline, your about section, your experience bullets, and the settings that most people never touch. Fix these and you go from being invisible to actually showing up when recruiters search for you. And look, this is just the LinkedIn piece. And if you want help rebuilding your whole job search strategy, from personal branding through to landing interviews, I've put everything inside the Offer Accelerator. It walks you through the complete system step by step. And the link is in the description if you want to check it out. But honestly, just start with your headline and change it today. Go and find those 5 job descriptions, pull out the keywords, and just rewrite your headline. That one change alone can completely shift how many recruiters are actually finding you.